The most controversial film of 2004, Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ, is getting a sequel, and it looks like it could stir up even more controversy. When The Passion of the Christ first hit theaters, it made a huge impact, especially among American evangelicals. Christians worldwide also embraced the film, making it a global success. Inspired mainly by the Gospel of John, it included elements of Catholic tradition and the visions of Anne Catherine Emmerich, adding to its depth. However, its release was marred by accusations of anti-Semitism, compounded by Gibson's personal controversies. Since then, Gibson has been open about his desire to create a sequel to continue the story. Given the original film's status as one of Hollywood's most significant biblical epics, it's not surprising that Gibson is finally moving forward with this project. In today's film industry, franchises often draw more attention than standalone projects, so this could be a smart move. However, whether Gibson can replicate the success of the first film and again captivate the evangelical audience remains to be seen. For those who aren't aware, the film has officially been titled The Passion of the Christ Resurrection. The latest update about Mel Gibson's epic concerns its scope and scale. According to Coming Soon, the film's IMDb page was updated in early November 2023 to The Passion of the Christ Resurrection Part 1, indicating it will be a multi-part film. Actor Jim Caviezel, reprising his role as Jesus, mentioned, "It might be 2 films, it could be 3, but I think it's 2. The title of The Passion of the Christ Resurrection Part 1 could imply a lot about the movie's direction. It raises questions about how many parts the series will have, which events in Jesus' life each part will cover, and much more. We have some insight into what will happen in Part 1, but before we dive into that, it's essential to understand the significance of this title. The Passion of the Christ 2 is confirmed and is set to begin filming in spring 2023. Star Jim Caviezel confirmed the script's completion in September 2020 and boldly claimed it would be the biggest film in world history. Mel Gibson, working closely with Randall Wallace on the script, has long expressed a desire to continue this epic story. Wallace shared his enthusiasm for the sequel, saying back in 2016, "I always wanted to tell this story. The Passion is the beginning, and there's a lot more story to tell. The evangelical community considers The Passion the biggest movie ever out of Hollywood, and they kept telling us that they think a sequel will be even bigger." The title Resurrection hints at the film's focus on the period following Jesus' crucifixion. While the first film ended with a brief glimpse of the resurrected Jesus, the sequel appears to delve deeper into the events that transpired between Jesus' death and resurrection. This period, often referred to as the Harrowing of Hell, is where many Christians believe Jesus descended into hell to confront and defeat the forces of evil. This concept, drawn from the visions of Catholic mystics like Anne Catherine Emmerich, adds a rich, albeit controversial, layer to the narrative. Gibson's willingness to explore these themes reflects his intent to create a story that goes beyond the traditional biblical accounts. This approach could either resonate deeply with audiences or spark further controversy, especially among evangelical Christians who were major supporters of the first film. Jim Caviezel's return as Jesus is a significant draw for fans. His portrayal in the original film was powerful and memorable, setting high expectations for the sequel. The involvement of other original cast members, such as Maia Morgenstern as Mary and Francesco Di Vito as Peter, also adds continuity and depth to the story. Their roles are pivotal, especially considering the profound experiences of Mary and the apostles during and after Jesus' crucifixion. The potential for multiple parts in this sequel allows Gibson and Wallace to explore these events in greater detail. Part 1, titled Resurrection, will likely cover the immediate aftermath of the crucifixion, focusing on the spiritual and physical resurrection of Jesus. This includes the dramatic and symbolic Harrowing of Hell, where Jesus is believed to have liberated the souls of the righteous who had died before his crucifixion. This event is depicted as a cosmic battle between good and evil, highlighting the triumph of divine power over demonic forces. If the sequel indeed extends to multiple films, subsequent parts could explore the impact of Jesus' resurrection on his followers, the spread of his teachings, and the early days of Christianity. This expansive storytelling format allows for a deeper exploration of the themes of faith, redemption, and the enduring legacy of Jesus Christ. That said, the movie's ending adds to our theories. The Passion of the Christ resurrection seems like a logical next step since Christians believe Jesus died and rose from the dead. The original The Passion of the Christ ended with just a brief glimpse of the resurrected Jesus, which left the story open for more. However, over the years, there have been consistent reports suggesting that the resurrection itself won't be the main focus of the sequel. Instead, the film will delve into the 3 days between Jesus' death and resurrection, where many Christians believe Jesus descended into hell. Many scenes in The Passion of the Christ weren't directly from the Bible, and it looks like the sequel might continue that trend. Some of these scenes were inspired by Catholic visionaries, such as Mary of Jesus of Agreda and Anne Catherine Emmerich. Emmerich in particular had a vision of an event known by Catholic theologians as the Harrowing of Hell, in which Jesus descended into hell, tore down its walls, and declared war on the devil and his kingdom. It's important to note that these events are only alluded to in a few verses in the Bible, which means this particular idea has generated considerable debate among Christians. If Gibson does focus on the harrowing of hell, he may find it challenging to unite evangelicals behind him, as he did with the first film. One of the biggest pieces of news from the Passion of the Christ 2 camp is that Jim Caviezel is expected to return as Jesus. The first film was one of his highest-profile movies, and he's since appeared in a wide range of films and TV shows, including Outlander, The Prisoner, and Person of Interest. He also returned to the world of biblical epics for Paul, Apostle of Christ, where he played the Apostle Luke alongside James Faulkner's Paul. Caviezel has clearly been kept in the loop about the sequel, openly speaking about the script as far back as 2020. Whether the film will focus on the resurrection itself or the dramatic events in the days following Jesus' death, it promises to be a powerful continuation of the story. As filming begins and more details emerge, fans and critics will be eagerly awaiting to see if Gibson can once again create a film that resonates as profoundly as The Passion of the Christ. And that's that for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. We'll see you next time.